What's good, family? It's me, Coach 67 Sports TV. Shout out to the awesome and amazing LDBC, Lions Den Broadcasting Community. Shout out to the Louisiana All-American Sports Network. And shout out to the greatest university in the world, the Southern University, home of the mighty Jaguars. In this particular video, I'm going to talk about a commit that Southern University has in terms of from a recruit standpoint. Now, a lot of individuals and members of Jaguar Nation like myself, they've been watching what's going on in terms of the transfer portal. And a lot of individuals, they act like it's gloom and doom because you have a lot of players leaving via the transfer portal. Let me make one thing clear. Of course, there's a new rule now. If a player comes from a JC or JUCO, junior college, or whatever the case may be, even if they play 1 or 2 years in junior college, if they commit to your university, now they can be at your university for 4 years. They have 4 years of eligibility. So that's one thing that coaches like Coach Terrence Graves need to consider when recruiting players. If you have a player that's played 2 years in JC, now he has 4 years of eligibility, these are players you might want to consider bringing in your program, especially if they are good enough. Second of all, a lot of players that's leaving via the transfer portal, leaving Southern, for the exception of Xavier and ZT Set, all of these players no longer have eligibility at Southern. So if you've been at Southern for 4 years and you graduated, you can't stay on scholarship at Southern because you no longer have eligibility. Like, for example, Kobe Dillon. Kobe Dillon was hurt a lot at Southern. So evidently he got 2 of those years he was hurt, he got that eligibility back. They redshirted him those years. So that's why he's graduated and he has 2 years of eligibility left. Just using him for example. Somebody like him, now you wasn't going to have to split carries with Kendrick Grimes and CJ Russell. Like, more than likely, he probably was going to be the feature back all to himself. I'm almost certain somebody like Barry Remo was going to get some touches, and they definitely going to bring in another running back or two. So Kobe Dillon, it would have been in his best interest to stay at Southern, but since he has no more eligibility at Southern, he has 2 years of eligibility left, he had to leave and go to another institution. So that's the reason why most of these players that's hitting the transfer portal from Southern University are in a transfer portal. Now, in terms of the players that they have that's committed to Southern University, they have a few players that's committed. I think somebody like myself, the thing I'm looking at is the fact that they have a lot of holes to fill. You have holes to fill on the defensive side of the ball. You have holes to fill on the offensive side of the ball. But more than anything, Jackson State won the SWAC championship. They won the Celebration Bowl. And in addition to that, they are the team to beat in black college football because they won the black college football national championship. And at this point, I'm going to be truthful. It's an arms race. And I'm not even going to lie, I hate to say it. Jackson State is kind of head and shoulders above everybody else at this point. And you have to make the right moves. You have to get the right players that fit in your scheme, fit in your program. But more than anything, you have to close that talent gap between Jackson State. And in addition to that, you have to surpass them. So that's why you have someone like myself who always kind of imploring Southern, hey, they need to get these things in terms of roster issues. They need to address these issues that they have from a roster standpoint. Now, I'm not going to get them all in one day, but just to kind of go over one of the first players that they got that committed. Class of 2025, offensive lineman, 6'3", 292 pounds. Clifton C.J. Webb Jr. from Zachary, Louisiana, has announced that he's committed to Southern University. I've watched game film of this young man. I'm not going to lie, he a good offensive lineman. I think he's dominant on a high school level. And he has potential to be a very good offensive lineman for Southern University. Now, I think that the issue is, from my perspective is, how well does that translate over to Southern and in the SWAC competition? And I think the thing is, another thing is too, is offensive. Southern University's offensive line has kind of been dominant over the years, but these last couple of years they haven't been. And it's going to be, it's going to be interesting to see how well he fits in at Southern and how well his dominance, on a high school level transfers over to the SWAC. And, Coach Terrence Graves was saying that, one of the big knocks on Southern, I'm not going to lie, it's been a knock since Dawson Odoms has been a head coach, is that Southern really don't recruit as much locally as they used to. Because at one point when Pete Richardson was the head coach, the main thing they primarily recruited was the I-10 corridor. And for those individuals that don't know what that is, basically from Southern University to 110, from Baton Rouge to New Orleans, they recruited that area from New Orleans to Baton Rouge on I-10. And then they would recruit the river parishes like St. James, East St. John, West St. John, Holmville, Destrehan. That's how they was able to get quarterbacks like Bryant Lee and Austin Howard, because they were from the river parishes. Then you would get some players from North Louisiana, like maybe from Grambling, maybe from Monroe. And you would get players from other parts of Louisiana. And then you would get some transfers that came over from LSU, guys like Jermaine Sharp, like Michael Hayes, like Nemesis Bates, like Chris Cooper. And for the most part, those guys comprised, the lion's share of the players on Southern University roster. Don't get me wrong, they did get guys from other areas, but that was the bulk load of the players on the roster. So I think Coach Graves made it an emphasis to try to recruit locally, get some guys out the local area. You already had a guy like Chandler Whitfield that's from Zachary. Now you're bringing an offensive lineman from Zachary. And, he did a good job, I think, in this regard in terms of bringing in a local kid. But you definitely want to address all the holes that you have on your roster. But more than anything, kind of the way Jackson State is doing it in terms of being 3 deep at every position and having a plethora of talent. You want your roster to be the same way, but you want people to match them in terms of aggressiveness and physicality. I think in the second half, I think that's where Jackson State was able to overtake Southern, surpass them, and just beat them. But that's it for this video. If you find any value in this video, please like the video, share the video, comment in the comment section, subscribe to the channel. Also, click the notification bell so you could be alerted anytime I post any new videos. Go check out my brother, Jared 11 Green, on his channel. The Southern Baller Show is his show. We did an episode yesterday. Also, go check out my brother, Brent Fox, on his channel with his show called It's Just Me Starring Brent Fox. And go check out my brother, 7A Sports TV, who has 2 channels. He has 7A Sports TV, which is his primary channel, and his backup channel, the No 304 Show. That's it for this video. Happy holidays to everyone. Merry Christmas to everyone. Y'all have a blessed, phenomenal week. I'll catch y'all on the rebound. Peace and blessings.